Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of the OCR November 2023 GCSE Mathematics Paper 2 Foundation Tier Non-Calculator paper. Let's jump straight into it. Question 1. Work out 45 times 100. So all we have to do here is add 2 zeros to the end of 45, as 45 times 10 would be adding 1 zero, so 45 times 100 is adding 2 zeros, 4,500. Part B. 37 divided by 100. So 37 divided by 10 is just going to be 3.7, as we're moving the decimal point from here to between the 3 and the 7. And then if we divide it by 10 again, we're going to get the decimal point moving to here. So our answer is just going to be 0.37. And part C, 2.36 plus 1.79. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rewrite this as 2.36 plus 0.64, as that will get us to 3, which is the next whole number, plus 1.15. So these two numbers added together is 1.79. So then this will just be 3 plus 1.15, which is just 4.15. Part D, 0.82 minus 0.36. Similarly, I'm going to do 0.82 minus 0.02 to get us down to 0.8 minus 0.34, as these two together combined to 0.36. So that's just going to be 0.8 minus 0.34, which is the same as saying 0.8 minus 0.3 minus 0.04, which is just 0.5 minus 0.04, which is just 0.46. Question 2. Write down 50% of 80. That will just be half of 80, which is just 40. Use your answer to part A to complete this statement. 50% of 80 is the same as blank percent of 160. 160 is double 80, so 50% of 80 will be the same as 25% of 160. Part B. Write 36 as a fraction of 120. Give your answer in its simplest form. So 36 out of 120, what we're going to do is divide top and bottom by 3 to get 12 over 40. We can divide top and bottom now by 2 to get 6 out of 20. Then we can do it again, because they're still both even, to get 3 out of 10. Question number 3. Work out 2/3 plus 2/3. Give your answer as a mixed number. That's just going to be 4/3, and as a mixed number, that is going to be 1, which is 3/3, and a third, just like that. Part B. Work out 1/4 divided by 1/8. 1/4 divided by 1/8 is the same as 1/4 multiplied by the inverse of 1/8, which is 8 over 1, which is the same as saying 8 over 4, which is just 2. Question number 4. The bar chart shows the rainfall in millimetres for a city in the first 3 months of the year. Part A. Write down the amount of rainfall in February. So all we have to do is read the graph at February, follow it across to here. It's halfway between 30 and 40, so our answer is 35 millimetres. Part B. Write in its simplest form the ratio amount of rainfall in February against the amount of rainfall in March. So we already know the rainfall in February is 35. March, let's just follow this across. That is 55, as it's halfway between 50 and 60. We'll divide both sides by 5, and we get 7 compared to 11. And 7 and 11 are both prime, so we can't simplify that anymore, and that is our answer. And part C. The total amount of rainfall in January and February was the same as the total amount of rainfall in March and April. Work out the total amount of rainfall in April. So January, we have 70. January plus February is going to be 70 plus 35, which is 105, which means March plus April is 105. We already know March is 55, which makes April just 50. Question number 5. Complete the three missing values on this multiplication grid. So we've got -4 times -5 is 20, -4 times 9 is -36. Then we've got 9 times something is -54, and that will be -6, as 6 nines are 54, and -6 times -5 gives you +30. Question number 6. Three adults, Amos, Beth, and Charlie, are comparing their age in years. Amos is 32, Beth is 48. The mean of them is 50. Work out the age of Charlie. So we have Amos plus Beth plus Charlie divided by 3, which is how you get the mean, is 50. Which means if we multiply both sides by 3, we have A plus B plus C equals 150. We are told Amos is 32, Beth is 48. So let's add up A and B to get 80 on this side, plus C equals 150, which means C is 70 if we take 80 off both sides. And that is the age of Charlie. Question number 7. Which is smaller, 65% or 16 over 25? Show your working and give a reason for your answer. So what I'm going to say is 1 out of 25 is 4%, as 100 divided by 25 is 4. Therefore, 1 out of 25 is the same as 4 out of 100. So if 1 out of 25 is 4%, therefore 16 out of 25 equals 64%. So 16 out of 25 is smaller because 16 out of 25 is 64% less than 65%. Question number 8. Complete each statement. 24.2 divided by 0.5 equals, so 24.2 divided by a half is the same as 24.2 times 2 over 1, as we're flipping it, similar to how we did earlier, and that's just 48.4. And part B, something times 4 equals 12.08, therefore 12.08 divided by 4 equals the answer we're trying to get to. So what we're going to do is 12.08 divided by 2 divided by 2, just to make it a bit easier on ourselves without a calculator. So 12.08 divided by 2 is 6.04, and then 6.04 divided by 2 is just 3.02. Question 9. 4 apples cost £1.80. Find the cost of 5 of these apples. So £1.80 divided by 4 equals cost of 1 apple. So similar to how we just did that, we're going to do £1.80 divided by 2 again, which is 0.9 divided by 2, 0.45 per apple. Therefore, 5 times 0.45 is going to be the cost of 5 apples, which is just £2.25. Part B. By rounding each value to one significant figure, estimate the cost of 8.2 kilograms of bananas at 73p per kilogram. Give your answer in pounds. So one significant figure of 8.2 kilograms is just going to be 8 kilograms. Sig fig. 73p per kilograms to one significant figure is 70p per kilogram to one sig fig. Therefore, 8 times 70p is £5.60, and that will be our estimate. Whoops. £5.60. Question number 10. Choose a word from this list which best describes each statement. 2b plus 2w is just an expression, as there's no equals sign or anything like that. And then part B, pi r squared equals 30, that would be an equation. So that does have an equals sign, so it's saying something is equal to something else. Question 11. A bag contains only red, green and blue counters. 8 red, 15 green, the rest blue. Sam chooses one counter at random from the bag. The probability that this is green is 3 out of 8. work out the number of blue counters in the bag. So 3 out of 8 equals 15, as we know there are 15 green counters in the bag. Therefore, we want to work out 8 out of 8. So 1 out of 8, if we divide both sides by 3, equals 5. Therefore, 8 out of 8 equals 40. So total counters equals 40. Therefore, 8 plus 15 plus blue equals 40. Therefore, equals 40. Therefore, B must equal 17. So we must have 17 blue counters. Question 12. The diagram shows two straight lines crossing a pair of parallel lines. Part AI, find the value of x, give a geometrical reason for your answer. So, we know that x is going to be 59 degrees because this angle here is an alternate angle to this angle here, as they are on the same straight line, just the opposite sides of it. So we're going to say x is 59 degrees because alternate angles on straight line are equal, as we know that these two here are parallel lines. So part AII, find the value of y, give a geometrical reason for that one. So y is going to be 42 degrees, and that is because this angle here is 42 degrees, and that will be a corresponding angle. Again, we have a straight line that is just this one here that runs down across the two parallel lines, so we're going to say because corresponding angles on a straight line are equal. And again, it's to do with the fact we have two parallel lines there. And part B, find the value of z. So we know that this angle here, which we're going to call A, we're going to say that A plus z equals 180 degrees because A and z are together, they make up the angle on the straight line. And we also know that A plus 59 plus 42 is 180 because those three angles will make up the triangle. So we're going to have A plus 101 equals 180. Therefore, A is going to equal 79 degrees, which means Z is going to equal 101 degrees. 101. Question number 13. Part A. Work out 3 to the power 4. That's just going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is just 81. And part B. 5x squared over x simplified. All we have to do here is cancel out an x and one of the powers, so we just end up with 5x. Part C. Rearrange this formula to make x the subject. So the first thing we're going to do is take the 2 onto the other side. So we're going to do y minus 2 equals x over 5 plus 2 minus 2. Those two cancel out, leave us x over 5. Then we're going to multiply both sides by 5. So we're going to say 5 lots of y minus 2 equals x over 5 times 5. Again, these two cancel out, leaving us x. And we can either leave this as x equals 5 lots of y minus 2, or we can leave this as x equals 5y minus 10. And we're going to do it that way around. Just simplifying a little bit. Question 14. A sales representative and a manager discuss this graph of sales over the last year. The sales representative says, I can tell from the graph that over the last year sales have risen every month. Is the representative correct? Give a reason for your answer. Well, if you look here, the sales have actually gone down for one of the months. So therefore, no, they are not correct, because July to August, sales went down. Part B. The manager says, I can tell from the graph that sales are now more than double what they were at the start of the year. Is the manager correct? Give a reason for your answer. Well, we can see that this corresponds to 5 squares, and this corresponds to 2 squares, which suggests the number of squares have doubled, but we have no values. We don't know what this represents. This could be percentages, this could be individual numbers, like we don't know that for sure, so I'm going to say no, because we have no numbering on the y-axis to determine quantity. Question 15. Triangle A and triangle B are drawn on the coordinate grid. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A to triangle B. Well, triangle A has flipped or reflected, so we can see that it was pointing one direction, it's now pointing the exact opposite direction. It's still on the same point on the y-axis, as in it starts and it stops on the bottom at 1 here, which means the reflection is just going to be in a value of x. All I'm going to do is count the squares from here to here to see where that point is translated from. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, which means the reflection happened after 2 squares in the line x equals 1. Reflection in x equals 1 line. Question 16. Here are the first 5 terms of a sequence. Write down the next term of the sequence. So we can see here this is increasing by 4, this is increasing by 4, this is increasing by 4. So this is just the 4 times table, basically. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, 4 times 5, which means the next term will be 4 times 6, which is just 24. Kai says all of the terms in the sequence are even numbers. 402 is an even number. Therefore, if the sequence is continued, 402 will be in the sequence. Is he correct? No, because 402 is not a multiple of 4. And we just said our sequence is the 4 times table. Part B, here are the first 5 terms of another sequence. Write down the next term. Well, we can see here that this to this, we're doubling. 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 So write down the next term. We just need to double 4, which is going to be 8. Explain how you worked out your answer. Double the previous term. I'll just put in brackets. Multiply by 2. That's our answer. Question 17. A motorist wants to buy a new car but does not have enough money. The price of the car is 16,000. The motorist sees this notice for a deal on the car that they want to buy. The number of equal monthly payments is hidden. Work out the number of monthly payments. If the total cost of the car to the motorist is 17,400, you must show your working. So pay 15% of the price of the car now, and then equal monthly payments of £300. So we're told the price of the car is 16,000. So if we do 15% of that, that's just going to be 10% plus 5% of 16,000. 10% of 16,000, you just would knock off a 0 because you'd be dividing it by 10, so that's going to be 1,600. And then 5% of 16,000 is going to be half of 10%, which is just 800. So 2,400 is 15%. So we are told 17,400 is the total cost, is going to equal 2,400 plus the number of monthly payments, which we're going to call X, multiplied by £300. So if I take the 2,400 onto the other side, I'm going to have 15,000 equals 300 times X, which means X is just going to equal 15,000 divided by 300. So if I cancel out some zeros here, that's going to be the same as 150 divided by 3, which is just 50. Therefore, the number of monthly payments is going to be 50. Question number 18. A box contains only red, green, and black pens. The ratio of red to green to black is 1 to 4 to 11. Work out the percentages of the pens, the percentage of the pens that are green. So we have red, green, black. So because we know it's in the ratio 1 to 4, 11, it's going to be red is going to be 1 out of 1 plus 4 plus 11 in terms of fractions. And black is 11 out of 1 plus 4 plus 11, which is the same as 1 out of 16, 4 out of 16, 11 out of 16. The question wants us to know how the percentage of the ones that are green, which is 4 out of 16 green, or in percentages, 1/4, 25%. Part B, there are 24 more green pens than red pens. Work out the total number of pens in the box. So we know that red is 1 out of 16 of the total. Green is 4 out of 16 of the total. Therefore, 3 out of 16, which is the difference between green and red, is 24. So that would mean 1 out of 16 is 8, because all we've done is divided both sides by 3. Therefore, we know that there are 8 red pens. So 8 times 16 is the total number of pens, which is 8 times 10 plus 8 times 6, so 80 plus 48 was 128. 128. Question 19. A solid wooden block has a volume of 900 cubic centimetres. The density of the wood is 0.7 grams per centimetre cubed. Calculate the mass of the wooden block. Give the units of your answer. So, we have, if we just look at the units first, we have volume in centimetre cubed, density in grams per centimetre cubed, which means mass which is in grams. We basically need to get rid of the centimetre cubed bit. So if we multiply these two together, it will cancel out the centimetre cubed on the bottom and the top. So we know that our answer needs to be 900 multiplied by 0.7, which is just going to be 630. And our answer, like we said, is in grams because we are looking at mass. Question 20. Here is a table of values for y equals 6 over x plus 2. Draw the graph for minus 6 to 6. And we have the values in the table already. So when x equals minus 6, y equals 1. When x is minus 3, y equals 0. When x is minus 2, y equals minus 1. When x is minus 1, y is minus 4. And then 1, 8, 2, 5, 3, 4, and 6, 3. So the important thing here is the curves don't touch each other. We make sure we do not touch the y-axis as well, because it's going off to infinity. And because we've got a plus 2, we need to make sure we don't touch 2 on the x-axis either. So I will just draw something like this. Ooh, oh, it's a horribly drawn graph. A bit like this. And then I'll do the same for the other side. Point being, this should go off to infinity and it should never touch the axes. It's a horribly drawn graph, but you get the idea. Question 21. The diagram shows a rectangle with length 3x minus 4 and width x plus 2. The length of the rectangle is twice the width of the rectangle. Calculate the area of the rectangle. You must show your working. So the length of the rectangle is twice the width, so 3x minus 4 is going to be 2 lots of x plus 2. So we can calculate this and find x. So 3x minus 4 equals 2x plus 4. Add 4 to both sides, we get 3x equals 2x plus 8. Take off 2x both sides, and we get x equals 8, which means area is just going to be 8 plus 2 multiplied by 24 minus 4, which is 10 times 20, which is just 200 centimetres squared. 6-mark question, that one. Question number 22. A teacher is planning a theme day for the 500 pupils at their school. The teacher asks a sample of 20 pupils from Year 8 which theme they would prefer. The results are in the table. Describe 2 disadvantages of the teacher's sample method. Well, it's a small sample, and she's only used Year 8. Should use other age groups too. Part B. Using the results from the table, the teacher estimates that 175 pupils in the school would prefer a sport theme. Here is the teacher's method. Write down one assumption the teacher has made when making their estimate. Well, you can see they've multiplied it by 500. So that would basically mean that she's assumed that the sample represents the whole school. She has assumed the sample taken represents the whole school. Question 23. The diagram shows a town T and a straight road AB. A new straight road is built from town T to the road AB. The road is the shortest possible distance between the town T to the road AB. Using ruler and compasses only, construct the road from the town T to the road AB. Right, well, I'm on an iPad, so I cannot show you what I'm doing with the compasses, but I can explain what you need to do. So what you basically want to do is set your compasses up with one point, with the point of the compass on T, and you want to basically have it so that your pencil will touch and create an arc from 2 points on AB, something like this. And then you want to draw an arc like this so that it crosses the line twice. Then you're going to pick up the compasses and you're going to draw another arc underneath T somewhere from each of them, and it's going to look something like this. So again, poorly drawn, but something like that. Making sure that they cross over. Just tidy this up a bit. Something like that. And then where these 2 points cross, you're then going to draw a straight line using your ruler from T down to that point, and you will have created a straight line with a 90-degree right angle just there. The new road costs $200,000 per kilometre to build. The road constructor says the new road will cost over £600,000 to build. Show that the road constructor is incorrect. So what you'll need to do here is measure, using your ruler, from this point here to this point here. Again, I'm on an iPad, so I don't have the ruler, but I can tell you that the length is around 5.5 centimetres. So I will say length of road 5.5 centimetres, which, using their scale over here, 2 centimetres represents 1 kilometre. So you would basically need to do 5.5 divided by 2, which is 2.25, and then change it from centimetres to kilometres. So we'll say 2.25 kilometres. Sorry, 2.75 kilometres. It'd be 4.5 otherwise. 2.75 kilometres. And then we can say 2.75 multiplied by 200,000, which is going to be Well, 550,000. So that is less than 600,000. So the constructor is wrong. 24. A straight line passes through the points 0, 5 and 2, 13. Find the equation of the line in the form y equals mx plus c. So difference in y divided by difference in x is our m. So the difference in y is going to be 13 minus 5. And difference in x is going to be 2 minus 0. So we're going to have 8 over 2, which is 4. So our line is y equals 4x plus c. Now we'll put this first point into y equals 4x plus c. So we're going to say 5 equals 4 lots of 0 plus c. Therefore, c equals 5, which means our line is going to be y equals 4x plus 5. Question number 25. 2 to the power 7 multiplied by 2 to the power m equals a half. Find the value of m. Well, a half is 2 to the power minus 1. Therefore, 2 to the 7 times 2 to the m equals 2 to the minus 1. Therefore, 7 minus m equals minus 1, which means, 7 plus m equals minus 1, which means m is going to be minus 8. And the final question on the paper, 26. A triangle has sides of length 6 centimeters, 10 centimeters, and 12 centimeters. Is this a right-angled triangle? Show how you decide. Well, if right-angled triangle, then 6 squared plus 10 squared should equal 12 squared. 6 squared equals 36, 10 squared equals 100, and 12 squared equals 144. 36 plus 100 does not equal 144, therefore not right-angled triangle. And I'm just going to put down here, no, because a squared plus b squared does not equal c squared for side lengths squared. Pythagoras. And that brings us to the end of our paper. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you've got any questions, comments, leave them below. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed for more content, and I will catch you next time.